So, welcome back to our listeners and viewers.
Yeah, welcome back, everyone.
And we're here recording on our next episode, and we're focusing on this one. Prash and I, we've been talking about this around breaking generational patterns and cycles and how we can be the facilitators to break those cycles. And what are they talking about? You're probably thinking it's a lot of in Asian cultures, there's a lot of, oh, what are they going to think? What's everyone else going to think? And in Gujarati, is like, "Bijya bada શું કહેશે," right?
Yeah,
Which is roughly translated to that. It's all about perceptions of how people, what are our family going to think? What are others in the community going to think? And therefore, we repeat in the same cycles of behaviors and patterns of being in life as a result of that. And some of us are stuck in a rut and don't even know we're stuck in a rut. And I say this, Prash, not just, there's people our age who are in this cycle, right? Where it's like that's their norm and they're very much stuck in, oh, no, no, we can't be going to do anything out of the norm that their parents' generation haven't done. And then I think what we want to talk about here, Prash, is yes, obviously being through divorce and separation is part of breaking that cycle, but it's also in daily life, how we doing that, how we showing up in our personal lives, how we're showing up in our businesses, how open are we really being?
yeah, yeah, and
Yeah.
I totally agree. Yeah, like this topic is close to my heart because it's something that I'm truly making a conscious effort to rewrite how I am behaving and making sure that I'm breaking past behaviors or the behaviors I was taught from the previous generations or other people around me. Because yeah, like they're the ones that are stuck in a rut, like not me anymore. And if there is a part of me that is stuck in a rut, I'm actively trying to work through it, right? Because like I deserve better, the people around me deserve better, but then more importantly, the next generation
Yes.
better. And like, both of us being parents as well, right? Like we
Yeah.
don't, and I'm sure it's the same for you, like I don't want to pass any of this stuff down to my daughter or any other kid that I have, right? I want to be able to draw the line at me and say, you know what? All of this past stuff and generational cycles start that end with me. Let me be the final person, and then
Yes.
it's a clean slate. So like my daughter or the other future generations don't have to unlearn some of the things that I was taught. And I'm sure you can agree, right? Like it's probably the same.
100%. 100%. I love what you said, like it ends with me. And I wrote something literally along those lines. I think with both of us raising girls, especially, to
Yeah,
use their voice.
mm,
Yeah. Particularly with me being an Asian woman, there's so many times like, well, I can say this, can I say that? The shame, the guilt, what we can talk about, what we can't. How do I show up? Do I need to be the proper businesswoman, and or being your authentic self in your true expression of who you are. And if we don't do that ourselves and show up in that way, then on earth are the next generation going to? I love what you said there, Prash, because they won't, then we're just passing on, you know, that cycle then just continues, doesn't it?
yeah,
And yeah, it has to end at some point, and why not end with us?
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
I see it so often, like with like friends, family, whatever. Like I see the same cycle continuing, and I've just learned, I think, over my time to just step away and what everyone else is doing is the way they're choosing to live, right? And that's okay. And I'm choosing to live differently, and
Yes.
that's okay as well. And even though I might be seen as, well, I've been certain things have been said to me before, like you've changed or you're different now, and
Mm,
sometimes it's like, and I said this the other day actually, and in a group, little community that I'm in, and that is because when people say you've changed or you're different now, it's because they're unable to say you've grown, and it's because
mm,
sometimes remain in the same place, and because you've gone beyond them, it's hard for them to like accept you for that newer version of you because you're continuing the same habits you used to have, right? So you're seen as again like the black sheep, right? Of whatever the friend circle, the family, whatever it's going to be. But you know what? I think over time, like you get, and I know you probably feel the same, you get comfortable with being that person, right? Because it's like you're the one who's going to change everything in the way you live because you're deciding that you're living your life, that person's not living it for you, and that's okay for
no.
them to have their opinion.
100%. Exactly. With this whole what will people think? They're not living your life. They're not paying your bills. So
Yeah,
what does it matter what they think?
Yeah.
Right. And I love what you just said there. It's like people don't have the vocabulary to say, oh, you know what? You've grown, you've
Mm.
evolved.
Yeah.
Instead, we get, well, you changed, you're a
Yeah.
different person. Well, yeah,
Mm.
obviously, because I'm not that same person. I
Yeah.
have evolved, I've grown, life has happened, and I've chosen to change
Mm.
and respond to that in a different way, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, we had big things happen to us in terms of going through divorce and separation. But even that, if we look at that, Prash, you and I chose to even navigate that in very different ways compared to some of our friends or other people we know that are going through divorce and separation. Right. So, and it's also when I look at my friends, I love what you said. I'm going to use that. It's like, do you mean I've grown and evolved when they say you've changed in your
Yeah.
friend? Because I've seen that I have evolved and grown. And
Yeah.
like I see it in my friend circles, they're the same age as me. And they're like, oh, I can't be saying that, or I can't be doing this, or there's a lot of can'ts and shoulds, and they're stuck in their own ways. And they're okay with that. To be fair, look, no one's saying if you're happy in that,
Mm.
then that's fine. But are you
Yeah.
truly happy? Because inside, I don't think so.
Yeah.
And what we're used to is sometimes you've got to be the trailblazer in your life,
Mm.
and be navigating a pathway that no one else has been on, right? And I think, and to be that leader in your life, so you can stay in your comfort zone
Yeah.
of this is how life is, even if comfort zone does mean a bit of pain, at least it's pain that you're familiar with. Or you could step out of that and do
Mm.
something and change, and the small things to start changing and shifting. It all starts with one little baby step.
Yeah.
It's funny, it reminds me of one of my clients, and they were talking about, they were dreading seeing their parents.
Mm.
They're like, "I really don't wanna go there. I don't wanna be around my parents because every time I go there, it's negative talk about you're not married yet, you haven't got
Yeah.
kids." It's all
Yeah.
like the same pattern, and I can imagine hearing that constantly can really hurt. It's quite hurtful. But that and we worked through this, it's like that generation doesn't know any better.
Yeah.
Right? That was their life. That's literally what they thought is success or a good life looks like.
Mm.
But we've got to show that, look, I'm still happy. I'm still good. Even with me, when I got divorced, I think my dad was like, you're going to get married again. I was like, well, let the ink dry first on the divorce papers before you say that to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then since
Yeah.
then,
Yeah.
he's never asked me. Why has he never asked me again? Because he's like, she's happy. She's good.
Mm.
She doesn't need another marriage certificate to tell her she's happy, right?
Yeah.
But why is that? Because I've embodied a different way of being, and I've had to take my family on that journey
Mm.
to see
Love
a
that.
different way. And equally with this person, I was like, we can't avoid seeing your mum and dad. She was avoiding seeing her own parents, and they're getting older.
That's
And I
sad.
was like, you can't, it is sad. And why? Because she was like, I can't deal with the negative talk.
Yeah.
And it's so sad, Prash. And I was like,
Yeah.
we can't do it's not that you can't do that, but I'm sure, do you really want to? She felt that guilt. So we found a way. I was like, you still spend that time with them, but you still
Mm.
do what you love.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'll give you like what her little, but this might, it was just a little thing that came up for her, which was, I'm going to go see my folks. And then afterwards, I'm going to go to a Zumba class.
Yeah. Love
And I share that
it.
because she's then investing in her joy. She's then changing her embodiment, right?
Yeah.
She's then doing so. So even if it is quite a low vibrational conversation, straight away she knows, right, I've got to be out by a certain time. And then she's doing something that's going to just bring her and lift her up and bring her joy.
Yeah.
And she's not avoiding seeing her parents who are, declining in age.
Yeah.
So it's small tweaks that we can start doing where we
Mm.
don't then it harms us, doesn't it, Prash? It can like really harm us otherwise if we don't shift
Yeah.
out of this.
Yeah, like you start questioning your self-worth as well, right? Like when people are asking you, like it's that typical thing that Asian people do, like when are you getting married, or when are you having a baby now? Like
Yeah.
it's the next things, right? And it's like actually when you take a step back, you really got to consider like who you're talking to, but also think about why would you ask them such a personal question, right? But I feel like our Asian lot, right, they have no boundaries. Like, come on, guys! Like, some old massy at like a wedding is like, oh, come on, when are you getting married, or when's your baby coming next? Now, your siblings had a child now, and it's just like come on, like, there may be other issues going on, right? And like we do find this, right? And it's like for me and my wife as well, like we're really mindful about these kind of questions because we wouldn't go ask someone else because we know how tough it's been for us, right? Including like, the whole getting remarried, like we knew what it was like being single as well. And also then even like we face challenges and have a baby, but people still ask, like, when are you having a kid then? And it's just like, well, one, that's none of your business because you don't know what challenges the couple are facing, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I feel like that generation, yes, they do not know how to do any better, unfortunately. But it's like,
yeah,
how do we navigate that? And it's like mentally prepping yourself in your mind, like, okay, well, if
yeah,
I'm going to get questioned by so and so at this event, what am I going to say to them? Right? What's my response going to be to them? And it's like once you prep yourself with something, then at least you're geared up for like, okay, if I come across that person, they ask, this is my response, then I can just peacefully walk away without it bothering me so much, right? Because I've been
yeah,
at events before with like cousins and stuff, like cousins who have been single for quite a few years, and they get the same drama from like other elders, right? Who are like, oh, come on, when are you getting married next? And it's like, what do they say? And they always walk away feeling more upset. And it's like, I've invited this person to my wedding to come and enjoy the day and be present and be with family, but come for me, right? And like support me on my special day. But then another family member goes and ruins it by asking them such a personal question and then forcing it through as well, like that conversation. So yeah, it's really not nice when that generation can't do better. But the control is in our hands, right? And how we manage our response back to them rather than reacting. And that's such a big thing for us to
yeah.
recognize.
100%. And I think I love that. You got to mentally prep. So if you think about that client that I have, it
Mm.
was prepping her
Yeah,
as well in terms of, right, how can she still be around her parents, but also a way of changing her embodiment. So her going to a Zumba class isn't just having fun. It's also to kind of rewire that in your body,
yeah,
changing your state. And I
mhm,
get for her, obviously it was Zumba, but it could be as simple things that you can do in
mhm,
the moment,
yeah,
right? And ways, strategies to come out of that,
mm,
strategies to be confident of, well, you know what, I'm happy, I'm good,
yeah,
right? And then that's it.
yeah,
Thank you, but no thank you, right?
yeah,
And okay, I need to go now. Your exit strategies as well. So there is that, but there's also being brave to lead things in the way you want to lead them, that's true to
mm,
you, right? So obviously I do things that are true for me. Your voice is very different to mine's, Prash, right? So it's got to be authentic to us.
yeah,
And I also notice this in people when they're showing up in their businesses.
mm,
And they're not really themselves. They're either copying a version of someone else has done it, or they are, but it's a filtered version of them that's showing up.
yeah,
And part of that, particularly with us Asians, is linked back to that conditioning,
mm,
right?
yeah,
And it's like, well, the ones that if you look at it, the ones that are doing well are the ones that are trailblazing, the ones who are breaking that cycle, the ones who they've got that unique voice,
mhm,
right? That are not like, "Oh my god, what are people gonna say? What are people gonna think?" They're just going for it, and then everyone else is then afterwards joining the bandwagon and clapping, and then the parents afterwards are coming and clapping, right?
yeah,
I know I've experienced this myself, right? But you gotta take that step, and are
yeah,
you truly being authentic in your life? And
mm,
that's what it takes to break cycles. That's what it takes to break
mhm,
patterns,
yeah,
is to start being your true authentic self
mm,
and moving and talking and really showing up, embodying that.
yeah,
Um, and then when you do get the negative talks, when you do get the checklist of, are you married yet? Have you had your kid? When are you having the second kid? It doesn't stop, by the way. Then
yeah,
it's afterwards. It's like, oh, so you've had what? When are you having the second one?
yeah,
There's constantly something, right?
yeah,
And it could be similar sort of pressures then in your work and your other areas of your personal life. But it's
mm,
having, like, I love what you said, that mental prep, that strategy of how can you, in your own authentic way, deal with
mm.
that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. Like, I'm glad we're talking about like authenticity and like you mentioned business as well, right? Like, and I guess we probably got some have some relatability here as well, right? So
Mm.
again, breaking cycles, right? Like I've been raised in a very safe way in the sense of when you grow up, you get a job, you go work for someone, you get that paycheck at the end of the month, right? You build up your pension and you work hard towards that because when you retire, you're going
Yes.
to rely on that pension and that's it, right? And obviously, try and invest your money in certain areas, right? And this is something that was so difficult for me to break within myself because when I started my business of becoming a life and mindset coach back in September 2022, like it was a big decision and I constantly questioned myself. And do you know what? The biggest backing I had was my wife to say, no, Prash, like this is you've been wanting to do this for so long, you know that this is your purpose, you want to be of service to people who have gone through divorce or struggling to heal from divorce or facing other life challenges. Like this is where your passion is and where your most authentic self shines through. This is what you need to focus on. And it took a lot of work for me to say, do you know what, actually I'm going to do it. And it was actually my friend who passed away a month after my wedding. So I got married in July 2022 to my wife I'm married to now, and then a month later, so like I think it was like just at the start of August, one of my friends passed away, and he was 35 years old at the time. Like he left a wife, a 9-month-old baby boy behind, and that broke me to the point where I just realized that you know what, life is too short.
Yeah.
So why am I so worried about what my parents will think if I leave my job? Why am I so worried about other people around me will think, right? So I thought, "Do you know what? No, I'm just going to do it, right? Made a plan, made a financial plan, made a business plan, like exactly what I was going to do, handed my notice in. And do you know what? I always look towards my parents for validation to say, hey, look, I'm going to be doing this. What do you think? But the first time ever, I didn't do that because I just thought they're not never going to see this from my vision. This is my
Mm.
vision. My wife understands it. They will never understand it because it's not the safe option. So how do I break this cycle now, right? Because I want my kids to take that leap of faith when
Yeah.
they're older, and I thought it has to start with me. So that was it. Handed my notice in. Hey, look, this is what I'm doing. My notice is handed in. I'm going to be, my last day is on so and so date, and I'm going to be following my career path as a life and mindset coach. And as supportive as my parents were being, I know, and we've had conversations, they struggled with the concept that I was doing this because it was so unfamiliar to them because all they were taught from the previous generation was you need to go work for someone else and make sure you get that paycheck at the end of the month. You need that
Mm.
safety net and that stability. And I guess for me, it was like, well, I want to break this because I don't want to carry this moving forward. Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is one for like business talk and like financial stuff as well. Right. So
No,
again,
it's
future
linked
as
to
well.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we're talking about breaking generational patterns, it ends with me and it starts with me. All
Yeah.
right. And I love that because it does start with us. So we're following our soul's calling. We're following
Yeah.
our passions. We're following what we truly would love. Right.
Mm,
And by us doing that, it then encourages, we both got daughters, right? But it encourages then our children to do that as well.
yeah.
Because that's what's true for us and they can see it. So then they will follow that, right? And we've got to think of it, the parents' generation, they just want us to be safe and secure, right? And have that stability,
Yeah.
basic needs, right? And so when they think like, oh my God, what they're going, they don't have the most eloquent way of saying it.
No. Yeah.
um, but there is a sense of, oh my God, at the heart of it, they mean well,
Mm,
right?
yeah.
But it can also stop you on your tracks. It can
Mm,
stop you from following that passion. And I love what you said. And it's similar for me. It's like you've got to still go with your vision, go with what your heart would truly desire
mm,
and follow that and take those steps.
yeah.
Because it starts with us.
Yeah.
The change begins. Be the change.
Yeah.
Yeah. Break a cycle and be the change. And it starts with you. It starts with you putting yourself out and coming out of your comfort zone and doing that thing that's slightly different. And for
Yeah.
both of us, it was pursuing that passion in our businesses because we had this strong calling and urge.
Yeah.
And I'm sure for you and similar for me, it's terrifying. All right.
Really
And
is,
let's
yeah.
not sugarcoat this. It
Yeah.
is initially like, oh my God, what on earth have I done?
Mm,
Because we've left that safety net, we've come into
yeah.
this. But you keep following it, you keep following it, you follow your truth. And it's also, I see other women that have set up their businesses as well. They are then not, it's they're reluctant on how much they share. But why are
Mm,
they reluctant how much they share? Because they're worried about what people will think,
yeah.
right? It still comes back to that. And that is so ingrained in Asian culture. I don't see that as much in other cultures as I see it in ours. What are they
Yeah.
going to think of me? And that whole imposter syndrome comes out.
Mm,
But it's almost like you've gotta just go with the momentum and put yourself out. There were times where there was a time crash. Obviously, now I share quite freely, but I was like, "Oh my God, I don't know if I can say this. I don't know if I could be sharing my story."
yeah.
There was a lot of that doubt. I don't know if
Mm,
it's you as well. We we
was,
we
yeah.
hesitate. Like, what shall I share? What can I not? But then it was coming from a place of, well, no, this is me being my authentic self.
Mm,
And for me to be my authentic self, that means being vulnerable.
yeah.
That means being authentic to who I am,
Mm,
right? And we're not going to be everyone's cup of coffee or cup of tea, you know?
yeah. Yeah.
um, and we shouldn't try to be either.
Mm,
Because when you are trying to blend in, you're not breaking patterns, you're
no.
repeating them.
Yeah.
You're repeating cycles and it's just passing that on to your children without you even knowing it.
Mm, yeah.
All right. So it's what I preach as well. You be the leader in your life. You got
Mm,
to be the one that is the trailblazer, is the one making that move and going into those uncharted waters.
yeah. Yeah.
Um, and it is going to be shaky. Those steps you take are going to be wobbly,
Mm,
but the path of growth, that's how it happens.
yeah.
It
Yeah.
is, it is shaky, it is wobbly, but
Mm,
what's waiting at the other end is far more fruitful and has a lot
mm,
more to offer than just swimming around in the same old, same old. So
yeah.
it is a choice as well, Prash, to be fair. So
Mm,
we've chosen that, but I can appreciate for some, they might not want to. They might be
yeah.
happy in that as
Yeah.
well.
And you know, like in my experience, like there are people who are happy being that way or proud of the way they've been for the last, like, you know, whatever years, like 10, 15, 20 years or whatever. And, you know, and then I think for me it was like being made to feel bad that I've changed and I've grown so much. But at the same time, I realize, well, actually, I'm living my life. And I guess for the people who are stuck in a rut and who are stuck in their ways, it's all about, I think a huge focus of it is having the awareness that, okay, there is a better way of living, there is a better way of doing things, or
Mm,
do I just continue doing the same thing my parents did? And there are people out there, right, who are just going to continue doing the same thing that their parents did because they don't see anything wrong with it. And this is not to kind of like badmouth our parents or anything. Like they did a great
oh,
job based on their circumstances, what they were here to do, right? Like, and I often say this on other podcasts as well, where I say like the previous generation, like AKA our parents, like they were of a generation who a lot of them came to, you know, the UK, and their only mission when they got here was surviving, right? Which was like, I got to go get a job, right? I got to work for someone so that I can get that income to put food on the table, to get by, to, you know, support my family. So there's a difference now, and I think that's something to highlight is that we are of a generation that don't have the pressures of just trying to survive. That we are truly thriving in life, right? Like we've got so much resources available to us, like online as well, to help us do better, think differently. Like I would never have heard my dad say to me like back in the day, like, "Oh, I'd love to listen to that podcast," you know, like the speech by Bob Proctor or someone, right? Like I
oh,
would never hear him say anything like that because he just probably wasn't aware of who that was. Versus like me, like I hope to when I'm older and my kids are older, I'm having conversations with them about inspirational people, not just, you know, surface level conversations. But yeah, going back to the point is that they were here and they were surviving. We are a generation that can thrive, and if we choose to thrive and raise our awareness level, we can break the cycles from the past that worked for that generation, but unfortunately doesn't need to work for us moving forward. And
yeah.
that's the difference now.
Yeah, because ultimately it is a choice.
Yeah.
isn't it? It's if you choose to, because
Mm.
we're in a place where there's multiple options and, as you said, resources available to us,
Yeah.
and we can make up our own way,
Mm.
right? And follow that if we choose to.
Yeah.
Like you said, technology has advanced, and in a way, like it's having to upgrade our parents' generation as well, a little bit as well.
Yeah, yeah, right.
So we don't need to be worrying as much. But I also find, Prash, it's people that not necessarily that we're worried about our parents, but it's also peer to peer. It's
Mm.
people
It
also
is.
in our same age groups where there
Mm.
is that comparison still going on, where there is still that and there's nothing wrong with it, but yes, there's material success and wealth, but are you truly happy?
Yeah.
Are you truly fulfilled? You know,
Mm.
you've got the checkbox. I know I've lived it. I had the
Yeah.
checkbox, husband, tick, house, travel, blah, blah, blah. You know, the checklist was there, but
Mm.
inside it isn't fulfilling.
Yeah.
So it's then, but then obviously I knew that, and I followed then my own heart telling me something isn't right here. So
Yeah.
it's that awareness of that, and then my choice, because I could have chose to just stay in that comfort because it looks great. It's easy. Why rock the boat?
Mm.
But it was like, no, there's got to be more to life. So you've got to have that hunger for more.
Yeah.
You want to grow, evolve, change,
Mm.
be different.
Yeah.
And it takes boldness. It
It
takes
does.
courage
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah.
Um, and I think we shouldn't sugarcoat it either, Prash. It is messy,
Mm.
but it's worth it.
Yeah. It really is. Yeah. Yeah.
It is worth it, right?
It
You go
definitely is. Yeah.
through
Yeah.
busyness, but then if you see, it was a conversation I was having with someone was like, you know, when things don't go right in life,
Mm.
see that as an opportunity, as a way to reroute and change course in your life.
Mm. Love that. Yeah.
Right. So it could be a junction in life is like you've gone for something and it didn't work. It's an
Mm.
opportunity to reroute and change.
Yeah.
Right. And then there's the guy, Thomas Edison, who
Mm.
invented the light bulb.
Yeah.
And there's a famous quote where he says, I found 1,000 ways it doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember
What
that.
a
Yeah.
great attitude, right? So he
Yeah.
didn't say he failed 1,000. I found 1,000 ways it doesn't work. Can you imagine that? He had this vision
Mm.
of creating this light bulb, and he kept going, and every time, it didn't go right, he adjusted. It was a learning opportunity. You learn from that mistake, failure, and then eventually, boom, it worked.
Yeah.
Right. So it's also our perceptions of change and of evolution and growth in ourselves
Mm.
that see that as each little challenge that we have, the whole why me? You could be in the why me, why God, why me, or see it as, you know what, maybe God's trying to redirect you.
Yeah.
Maybe this is a little signal of change,
Yeah.
and
This is
use that
the
as
way.
an opportunity of to rewire and
Mm.
reroute, just like Thomas Edison did.
Yeah.
With that light bulb, he's still stuck with it and he still went with it.
Yeah.
We can be still adopt. And then in doing that, that's how you're creating that pathway of breaking those cycles, of
Mm.
breaking those patterns.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's one little step at a time.
Mm.
Yeah. And seeing failures, seeing things when they don't go great in life as an opportunity. See, there's always like a little opportunity in that.
Yeah.
That's how I view things.
Yeah. No, yeah, I love the way you worded all of that. Like, I'm totally in agreement with it as well, right? Like, and yeah, it does take. It is a messy process for sure. Like, and it takes someone bold and brave to say, actually, I want better in life, and it doesn't make. And also, I think this, and I know we spoke about in the embodiment session you did with me, and it's like not feeling guilty for wanting better, right?
Yes.
And I think for a long time. I felt guilty for outgrowing people around me and not
Mhm.
feeling like I fit into certain circles anymore, right? This includes family and friends. And then I've truly reached a point, and I guess it's over like the amount of things I've been going over the last 5 weeks with the multiple deaths in the family and stuff. And it's just making me realize a bit more like life is too short to worry about other people's opinions. And do you know what? I don't care like who's on the same team as me, who isn't. It's totally okay. Like I'm going to focus on me, my wife, my child, and my absolute mission in life, and that is to be of service to other people. That's what requires my attention, and that's where my And honestly, like, since I've been thinking like that, there has been a shift inside of me where I'm no longer phased by the lack of support from family or friends. It's just like, yeah, it's fine. Like, if anything, for me, it's like it has more to say about them than it does about me. I know what I'm capable of when it comes to supporting other people, even if, and if I'm not going to receive that same support back, it's based on my expectations as well, right? Because I know what I've done for other people, but it's okay. It says more about me that I'm capable of supporting other people, and I'm capable of breaking cycles, even though it feels uncomfortable. And I think that's the main thing, right? It's like knowing that you are probably going to face some challenges where when you do break cycles, like you you will encounter arguments or
Yes.
or people around you like parents or siblings or whatever kind of feel uncomfortable,
Yeah.
and unfortunately that's the harsh reality of it. But do you know what? I wouldn't go back to who I used to be ever.
Yeah.
I love the man I've grown into today. I love the person I've become, and also I love the person I'm becoming. And I think that's the main
Oh,
focus.
I love that.
That's worth it, right? Because
Yeah.
my wife benefits from that. My daughter benefits from that. If I have more children, like they will benefit from, you know, the dad who made a conscious effort to do better. And I think that's what, yeah, you got to find your why of why you want to break the cycles. And for me, it was truly wanting more out of life. And then I know for me, it was like, okay, well, one day I'm going to have a child, so I want to be able to do better for them. So yeah, this is me
Yeah.
breaking.
I love that. And it's very important. Like you said, you've got to have a strong why,
Mm.
right? Going back to the Thomas Edison example, right? He had a strong why. I mean, why
Yeah,
would you go 1,000 times? Can you imagine that? What
yeah,
that could be doing to him? And that, like, you'd want to be giving up, but he didn't. Why? Because there was a strong why. And it's
mm,
same for both of us. There's got to be a stronger why. If there isn't, you're just going to pull back into that comfort zone.
yeah,
But even when you're going on that trajectory and following your strong vision of where you'd love to be, it's also, and going back to the embodiment session I did with you, Prash, is just being aware of, well, hold on, where are you unconsciously taking on some labels here?
yeah, yeah.
Right? So taking on some labels of shame,
Mm,
guilt,
mm,
not worthy, whatever it might be, and how are they imprinting in you? And having that awareness as you're going on this journey, because it could muddy the waters of you then going for your vision,
yeah,
right? And then it's then coming back, and it's a little bit of like doing a full circle of being aware of that, noticing how that is showing up in you,
mm,
particularly how are you embodying that, and then to be able to shift that into the opposite embodiment,
mm,
which is what we did with you,
yeah,
is then, well, what is the truth?
mm,
Are you going to let that stop you?
mm,
Or are we going to still continue with your vision and maybe see that in a slightly different way, having more compassion, having more love
mm,
in that area where you're feeling that shame and that guilt, being kinder to ourselves, right?
yeah,
Like, oh my God, I was talking to one of my clients, it's like, we are our own worst critics,
yeah, yeah, we really are.
right? And that self-talk to yourself, like to our kids, are we going to tell our kids, one day, do you know what, I don't feel like loving you today?
Yeah, 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 we'll never do that.
Consciously
Yeah,
saying, "I'm gonna love you today, I'm gonna hate on you today." We don't, right?
yeah,
Obviously, we don't. We love our kids. But yeah, we do that to ourselves.
yeah,
Yeah? We do. We're not kind to ourselves. We have a day when, or maybe several weeks even, when we're not kind to ourselves, we're not compassionate, where we're pushing hard.
mm,
And that is also being aware of that. Where is that happening for you?
mm,
And to be starting to break that own internal cycle.
yeah,
Right? Which probably is, let's be honest, probably is linked to some generational pattern unconsciously that's come through and now is in playing out in your current life. But becoming aware of that
mm,
and being kinder to ourselves on a daily basis. And really, if that big why, if
mm,
that feels daunting, then start with you and just loving yourself.
yeah,
Start with you and start with what brings you joy. Start with kind of coming out of that and then getting curious about what you love, getting curious about what more life has to offer because it's abundance, right?
yeah,
You can literally have anything. We're of a generation. If we think like gratitude to our parents, they built the foundation so we could have anything and everything. We've got choices.
yeah,
So it's then let's choose differently.
Mm.
That's what I would love people is
Yeah.
just to choose differently, to follow their passions, because this is like prime time to do it.
Mm. Yeah.
Right, follow it now
Mm.
rather than waiting for the what do we a lot of people do, wait for the right time,
Right moment.
place.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not ready yet, the excuses. it, there's never going to be a right time, is there? Let's be honest, there's never a right time. It's now,
Yeah.
and you
You got to
just do
make
that
your own.
small things. Yeah, you got to, and
Yeah.
that's how you break patterns, that's how you break cycles. If we really get nitty gritty about it, that's
Mm.
what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I totally agree. Right. And yeah, we do go our own way sometimes. And, I think, yeah, that's obviously deep rooted, right? From the way
Mhm.
we've been brought up, the way we have been taught that other opinions matter more than your own. And I think that's a big one for so many people. I know it's a big one for a lot of my clients, and obviously it's been a big one for me as well. And it seems to be this constant thing that I'm having to learn. But on the flip side, like we have like family members, especially like one of my brother my wife's side, like he's so chill and he's so mellow. He genuinely doesn't care about what other people think of him. And do you know what? I commend his parents for that upbringing. Like he didn't have the typical probably upbringing like we've all had, right? Like in the sense of like you should always be worried about what other people think, or that should be at the forefront. Like he's so calm, relaxed, and he does what he wants to do,
Uh,
and he's not bothered about what other people think about him either. And you know what? I love that about him because I'm just like, wow, like I take a leaf out of his books. I'm gonna be more like you, right? Because that's for me, that's inspirational. Like he's
yeah,
continued doing what he loves to do, right? And not letting other people's opinions or, how other people feel impact him to the point where he's having to change course or decide something different.
yeah,
Whereas what I was taught was like you cater to make sure other people don't, right? You make sure a bit of people pleasing as well, right? And it's at some point you got to break
Mhm.
that I know this shows up a lot for some of my clients as well, like
Yeah,
feeling like they've been brought up in the way where they've got to please everyone besides themselves. But when you really take it down to the core, it's like you can do everything. You can be that yes man or yes lady, doesn't matter. When you take it down and strip it down to its core, and like you've said, are you truly happy inside? A lot of the times the answer is no. And it's because people are doing the same things that previous generations did, which is like distracting themselves with like, constantly doing things with other people, or, going for dinners at someone's house or whatever, right? Or like, going out and doing other things, right? Where they're not really facing the harsh reality of like, am I truly happy in life right now? Do I
mm,
feel fulfilled? People don't want to think about that question. So they
no,
will do everything to avoid it. And I guess, yeah, like this is it, right? Like there's a comparison here, and that is fixed mindset versus growth mindset. And that is, which one are you choosing? So if you're going to be the same person who you've been for the last 20, 30, 40, 50 years or whatever, you can continue being that person. And, that is classed as a fixed mindset. Whereas if you're choosing to do just 1% better in your life, then you're well on your way to being someone of a growth mindset. Like, why
mm,
not? You are never too old to make a change and break
no,
cycles. And
no,
hate when I hear, I've heard my like dad fans are like, this is just the way I am. I'm too old to change now. It's like, well, actually, you're not. That's a belief that you've constantly affirmed to yourself. You're never too old to change. And I want to share a story with you because this one blew me away and it really amazed me when this lady got in touch with me. So a couple of months back, well, say a few months back actually, I had a lady reach out to me, and she must have got my flyer through the door for life and mindset coaching. So she reached out because there were some things that she was struggling with and just kind of wanted to know like what services I offer, and stuff I do with like meditation and stuff. So I rang the lady back, spoke to her, really well spoken English, Asian lady, and I asked her, because she sounded of age, and I asked her, like, how old are you? 89 years old. I had an 89-year-old Asian lady reach out to me because she wanted some help and guidance on meditating and how to cope with losing her husband. And I was
mm,
just blown away by it. And I was like, wow. Like, and I shared that with my parents because just to counteract that little comment my dad makes every now and then, right? Because I'm like, you and your And, there's someone here who's almost 90 and they still want to do different and do better. And they want ways to do that. And they were open to meditating and stuff just to help them cope and manage certain emotions. That blew me away. I was truly honored to have a conversation with that lady as well. Not for any coaching or anything, but I had a in-depth conversation about certain topics that could help them with their managing their emotions and stuff. So which was nice. But yeah, at any age you can choose to have a growth mindset.
100%, 100%. There's no age factor to this. There is. That's used as an excuse for too many people, right? Oh, I'm
Yeah,
getting old. I'm getting old. What does that even mean, right?
yeah,
It's like until you're literally on your deathbed, like
mm,
hopefully that's going to be a long way away. You're living, live your life.
yeah,
And I think that's beautiful that at any age, at any point, you can. There's so many stories out there where people have started businesses in their 50s,
yeah,
in their 60s, right? And they are thriving and they are successful, right? And it was maybe those early years was them priming them for that, right? So
mm,
it's like it's never there are women that I'm around and they've literally started their businesses later in life and they are successful. They had to have that trajectory in their life or whatever happened, and now they're thriving, right? I used to be like this. I used to be like, oh man, I wish I started earlier. I wish I did this
yeah,
work earlier. But I was like, no, I had to go through this version of events. This was my life. So I
mm,
could build that expertise, that experience. And then this is the point that I then come out,
yeah,
right? There's never a right time. We can't be, and it goes back to a little bit what you said before about that people pleasing,
mm,
right? And the expectations of these, God, where do these come from? I mean,
yeah,
we're all guilty of it, isn't it? And then playing up to that and pleasing other people and not feeling fulfilled
mm,
ourselves. And it's just trying to start coming out of that
yeah,
slowly and gradually
yeah,
and to evolve, to
yeah,
grow
yeah.
into
I,
what's
I
better for you.
Yeah, I agree. And I think huge basis of this as well is like feeling guilty, right? When you say no to people. And it's like the guilt, right? Of like, well, no, actually, I don't want to do that, but I've been taught that I must make other people happy over myself. And I think this is it now. Like, I'm majority of the time, I'm in reverse. I will want to make myself happier rather than making other people happier. So I'll give you like an example as well, right? So just this is more so for the audience. So like growing up in a is very much like visiting people, and if there's like certain days I should be vegetarian or the certain religious days or whatever, like, I used to have to follow everything to the T. Versus now, and this is just my choice because it's something that didn't used to make me happy. I just I actually voice what I'm feeling. So for example, like if my parents in the past have asked me to go somewhere with them or whatever, and it's like, well, I don't really want to go, but I'll go because I don't want to upset them, right? Whereas now I'm like, well, actually, I'd rather use my time doing something different than doing this because I know it's not going to make me happier going to this event
Mm.
or is. And to be fair, over time as well, like my parents have adjusted the way they kind of deliver that to me. So rather than saying, well, you need to come for this, it's like, oh, this is happening on this day. Let us know if you can make it. Like if you want to come and join as well, or whatever, just let us know what you want to do. And it's
Yeah,
like in that boundary as well, right? Because it's like if I just continue being the yes man to my parents as well, then they'll continue thinking that it's okay just to put a demand on me, right? Like, oh well, Prash will just come to this, it's fine, right? But it's like, well, no, like I don't want to go to these things, right? I'd rather do something else in my time or spend it with people who I truly want to be around, who uplift me. Like,
yeah,
how about that? How about spending time with people who uplift you rather than going to something just to fulfill formalities? Like, it's such a big difference. So
yeah.
that's an area where I've seen a big change within myself. It's like, okay, I'm gonna try to do something that makes me happier, rather than just doing something because someone else wants me to do it.
100%. And I think you make it's very important also to put here, this is not a lone wolf journey.
No.
So when you are kind of going that uncharted territories and following a different path, it is important to have those people around you,
Mm,
your tribe, it's your work people that I think they're also of that same growth mindset, who
mm,
also want to advance in themselves, who are in that arena, because then that
yeah,
fuels you. that uplifts you and that motivates you. That massively for me, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure for you as well, Prash. And even with you and I connected, we are then kind of uplifting and motivating each other, right?
Yeah.
Because we've got that similar sort of ethos in
Yeah.
us. And being around that is fuel.
Mm.
And
It
it's
really is.
important to then find is like you can stay in your comfort zones of your same old friendship groups, your same old family groups. When you're hanging around with just like for like and the same old, change
Mm.
isn't going to happen,
Yeah.
right? When I broke through from that and started hanging out with different people in different circles, yes, it was coming out of my comfort zone, networking, different friendship groups, people that think differently, people think a little bit like more like me, right? That is where things start shifting,
Mm.
right? So it wasn't like, oh, it was just all me on my own. That
Yeah.
fuels it,
Yeah.
right? So then when you are kind of getting pulled at the other end from that, same old, you get some friends who are in that rut. When you are kind of going into that, you're not going to be as influenced by it
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
and it won't impact you as much
Mm.
as if you didn't have those other fuels of
Yeah.
different avenues and different groups of people and different tribes to and communities that are fueling your passion. It's
Yeah.
important to have that because that's a big way of then it gives you that motivation, doesn't it, to keep
Yeah.
going.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Particularly if,
Reason.
like, for us running our own businesses, we probably automatically have to do that, isn't it? But
Yeah.
even if you're not, you can still be coming out and like try a different course. I love like that woman. Let me try meditation. Try
Yeah.
something new, different.
Mm. Yeah.
Talk to people you wouldn't normally.
Mm.
See who else is thinking the same way as you. It's just these are all parts of changing those
Yeah.
patterns and breaking some of those cycles.
Yeah, yeah, no, honestly, totally right. Right, and I want to give another example here because it's been a big one for me over the last like year or so, and that is the generational stuff I've grown up around and the culture I've grown up around has very much been like alcohol. And drinking
Mhm.
was a big culture, right? Like
Yeah.
family get together, make some really nice food, have a few drinks. Everyone, the men usually get merry and get pretty drunk, right? And you just have a good time. And obviously, growing up, like throughout college, like uni, it was the same environment. Like used to go out partying all the time. I was a right party animal, but as I've gotten older now, and as of last year, like from the arrival of my little daughter, my baby daughter, um, something inside me shifted where I was just like, do I want to continue this like moving forward? Like one, because of sleep deprivation, like as you know, it messes you up, right? When especially in the early days,
Yeah.
wasn't fun. But I just decided like, do you know what? I want to be able to do better because also recognizing like even though drinking culture was such a big thing that I grew up around, I didn't see pleasant things happen when especially the men got drunk. And and there were a lot of things that I saw that was normalized on how a man should be. And it truly took me up until like, my personal growth journey to start recognizing that I can do better. And one thing that I found and the one thing that I chose to stop drinking was because I recognized like it was making me feel bad. And when I was merry or drunk, I was very triggered, highly triggered. So I thought, you know what? This isn't serving me in the best way possible. I'm just gonna stop, right? And it's been over a year now. I've not touched alcohol, not been drinking, and I'm so
Mm.
proud of myself because I want my daughter to grow up in a different environment than what I grew up around. Because what you see growing up, if you don't have the awareness to snap out of it or do different, you will attract that into your life. Now I've seen it with people around me. They've attracted the same thing that, from men around them that they've seen doing or women around them that they've seen behaviors that that's what I've seen, right? And for me, it's just like I don't want to pass that on to my daughter, right? So how can I do different? I don't want to end up drunk and be a nuisance in front of my daughter, right? Because I don't want her growing up thinking, "Oh, I remember when Daddy got drunk that time because I remember these things," right? It scarred me, right? uh,
Yeah.
life because I still remember some of the things that I saw, and I was just like, that wasn't right. Like that shouldn't have happened. I shouldn't have had to see that, or I shouldn't have had to speak up in these moments, all right? Because end of the day, like I I deserved better, and this is where I'm transferring it. I was making peace with the fact that it's okay, it's happened. Everyone did the best they could at that time frame, but it's now recognizing that I know I can do better. So by my daughter, I will try to do better. And do you know what? Since I stopped drinking, like I can still go out, have a great time. But yeah, the people I surround myself with are different now because I have chosen to stop drinking. So because I've removed myself from them circles, I no longer meet the boys at the pub, right? Going for pints, sit there whinging about our wives, right? Or talking about the same old thing, right? Just that same loop. But like I joined the Mind Valley course last year. So the people I surround myself with now and I've networked is like someone like yourself, for example, people in the Mind Valley course. Like these are the people I stay connected with because every conversation I have with them uplifts me or wants me to do,
Yeah.
makes me want to do better and vice versa. Like the synergy is just so much better. So I would rather do this than go to the pub and just moan about my life
Yeah.
because nothing great was happening in that phase. Whereas now so much more beautiful opportunities are coming my way.
Yeah.
And this is what I choose. So yeah, this is a big one for guys. Like you don't have to do the same thing with the same lads all the time. You don't have to keep on going out for drinks, right? And moan and complain about the same old things. Start surrounding yourself with different people and watch your reality around you. Such a big thing.
Women do this too, by the way. I know
Yeah.
this. Well,
Yeah,
obviously
yeah,
not,
yeah.
but it is. There are some friend circles that I go into
Mm,
where they feel they need to have a drink just
yeah.
to let loose, to be themselves, to just get on a dance floor and dance. Can you
Mm,
believe that?
yeah.
Right? So it's then using alcohol to then be themselves, to
Mm,
be free.
yeah, it
And
doesn't
then
make
once
sense.
and it doesn't make sense, but it's something in their wiring, right? That's the only way they feel they can be free. And
Yeah.
then it's also, we talked about being healthy in the mix of unhealthiness. It's then
Yes.
for me to be like, because sometimes I go through points, I don't mind a couple of drinks, but there are times where I don't want to drink, right? At
Yeah.
the moment it's Shravanmeno,
Yeah.
which like for it's like a holy month. And
Yeah.
for that holy month, it's like the Asian version of Lent, isn't it? Where you give up something, and
Yeah.
I give up alcohol,
Mm,
right? So most of my friends, and I'm like, I don't want to drink.
yeah.
And I can still have fun. I
Yeah.
can still get on that dance floor. I could still be me
Mm,
without needing to be fueled
yeah.
by loads of alcohol. And next day I feel much better as well.
Yeah.
Carry on with the rest of my day. So it's also like you're going to have that with your friends, with your friend circles, even when you're out networking, whatever you're doing,
Mm,
there is that massive drink culture.
yeah.
But it shouldn't be then a replacement
Mm,
for to be someone else, to be then a different version of you. Why aren't you that showing up as that version in all your life?
sober
Why
life.
is it
Yeah.
you need drinks to be
Yeah.
yourself,
Yeah.
to speak your truth?
Yeah.
Right? And something one of my friends said, she's like, she doesn't want to do something, she would just say no, and then
Mm,
that's it. And I
mm,
love it. She's like, it's a no. Why do I need to justify my no?
yeah.
It's just no.
Mm,
And it wasn't rude,
yeah.
right? It goes back to that people pleasing. Do you want a drink? No.
Yeah.
I don't need to explain my I sure may nice this. I
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't need to
Justify.
give the whole what. Why? If I do that, what am I doing? People pleasing, justify myself. No, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Mm,
It's also be aware of who you're around. And it's like you can't sometimes avoid that Prash,
yeah.
right? Like I get that in some situations you can avoid, but you are going to be around that. We
Mm,
do. We go to pubs and bars and all the rest of it, but
yeah.
it's then still showing up as your authentic self.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Yeah. Still knowing that I don't need to do this and then blame it on the drink
Yeah.
when you're actually just speaking your truth, weren't you?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I felt.
Yeah. When people get drunk, they definitely speak their truth, and then yeah.
Yeah, but it's all linked. It is. If we come back, we've kind of
Yeah.
done a bit of a full circle here
Mm,
of breaking those patterns and those cycles, is noticing that, is noticing where are they repetitive patterns and cycles in your life?
yeah.
Where is there where you are kind of doing the same old, same old?
Mm,
And where is it that you could start making some small shifts and changes? Where is it that you could start looking at doing one different thing in your life?
yeah.
Yeah. Reach out to someone who does something completely different to you.
Mm,
Go for doing like joining a group or
mm,
going for following your passion, whatever it might be. There's so many avenues, isn't there, to
yeah,
do that?
yeah,
And then trying to do that, not it's not on your own, but find groups of people who think the same way as you.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And
definitely.
moving into that and going back to also having your why.
Mm,
Get clear on your vision and be really passionate, fall in love with that.
mm, yeah,
That even when knocks come in your life, that doesn't go.
yeah,
You're still thriving for it. You're still going for it because
mm,
life is going to throw curveballs,
yeah,
right? But you got to, it's natural, it's going to happen. But if you've got that compelling
mm,
vision of what you would love in your life, it will
yeah,
pull you, it will take you through it.
mm,
Yeah. And having that faith
yeah.
in that.
Yeah, no, definitely. And like, so something I've kind of like learned over the years as well, and that is, and I share this with other people as well, and it's like, go to the person to talk or ask for advice that have the results that you want. So it's like if you see someone, you're like, oh, I really like the results they've got right. Like, for example, you see someone. I mean, I'd see someone who's like in good shape. I feel like I'm doing something wrong. I wouldn't go then ask someone who's out of shape, like, oh, what's your advice? I'll go to the person who's actually in shape and say, well, hey, like you look
Brilliant.
physically, fit, right? Like, how do I achieve a similar physique to you, right? And the same thing applies in life, right? Like with other things in life, like if there are certain results that you want and a certain way you want to be, surround yourself with the right people and ask the people who have got
Yes.
the results, right? And to help you. Like there are people in my life that I would never go to for advice because I'm like, you don't have the results or the mindset that aligns with me, right? But I will go to someone just like yourself. I would come to you for advice. I'd be like, hey, Shweta, I'm dealing with this. What's your thoughts on it? I value your opinion because I see the results you have achieved, right? And I see the way you live your life and your values and everything as well. So it's so yeah, go to the people you see doing good and maybe sometimes doing better than you, right? Because they're
Yeah.
the people who can offer the right advice and guidance to you. Yeah,
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Have those role models in your life.
yeah.
100%. Okay. So, any parting thoughts from your side just to kind of close this off?
Yeah, I guess let's be the generation break that starts to break what has been normalized for so long. We
Mm,
gotta pave the way for our children and their children and so forth, right? And every generation should be an improvement. We've got to keep on progressing because if we're not, then we're going backwards, right? If we're going to say carry the same old school mentality forward, we're not going to get anywhere, and our kids won't get as far in life as they could do if you or we start making the change now and we continue
yeah.
that. That's my
Yeah.
parting gift to the audience. How about you?
I love that. It kind of goes back to what we said before. It ends with us, but it also starts with us. So
Mm,
be the change, role
yeah,
model that change yourself. And I
mm,
like what you said is then see who else is on that path.
mm,
That you're not on your own here.
yeah,
And then find people who think like you. Be surrounded by that, and let
mm,
that be your fuel
yeah,
to fuel your passion. Yeah, but you've got to start,
yeah,
right? It ends with you and it starts with you as well.
yeah,
So be that, be the starting of something new. And you don't necessarily have to have children just to do that, by the way,
no,
right?
yeah, yeah,
Do it for yourself. Start that for yourself. Make be that.
yeah,
And there is no age limit to this,
yeah,
right? You don't need to be a certain age. It can be at any point. Just start. Just start, change, do
yeah,
something differently. And let's see, let that take your path and find what you would love and start investing in that.
yeah. That was
That's what I
beautiful. Yeah, well, and just yeah, going back to the thing there with just to end off with, you don't have to have kids to change. Like, yeah, total agreement. All you need to want to do is be a different and better person, so you can impact people around you. Right? It doesn't have to be just kids. It could be your loved ones around you, family, friends, but most importantly, yourself. Right? It's got to start with you. Find your reason of why you're changing for you.
100%.
Yeah.
Love that.
Cool.
Okay, we'll close that one off now.
Yeah.
Yeah, let us know if this resonates with you. Drop us a line.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll be back then. Tune in for the next episode.
Next episode. Yeah. Also, don't forget to write any comments if you want us to talk about any other topics as well. So, yeah, we should catch you all on the next episode, guys.
Yeah. Bye for now.
Bye.